Popular demand, and with a nice day like today, I think there's no other video we can film today other than going for a bit of a ride in the GTI today. Just going and enjoying this weather, just because this car needs a vacuum, but go ahead and just enjoy the day with this car. Got a little cold start. Haven't had a driver in a couple days, so it's always nice to get to go out and try this thing out for a little while. Since people are gonna ask, yes, I did switch to Android. I know all the iPhone people that watch this are gonna be flipping out, but I got a Z Flip back at the beginning of January, not about a week or two before I bought this car, and so yeah, I'm a bit of a traitor, but anywho, we're gonna get started with today's little POV drive. We're gonna have some fun with the GTI today. And yeah, we're gonna have some fun with it. Don't get to take this thing out terribly much right now, just because it's like this week in particular, I had several jobs lined up. I had a rush job I was working on. I had a job that was supposed to be going on today, the day I'm filming this. Then I had one on Friday, and because of that rush job, I had to, you know, bow out of my today job, and then my job Friday canceled. So I have a lot more free time this week, so kind of just enjoying it while I can. So we're gonna go ahead and try to put these sunglasses on and crack the windows because it is hot in this thing. So anyway, go ahead and just, we're gonna get on cruising and enjoy the drive. I'll say one of the hardest parts about owning this car is keeping it clean. I will say that. Just, this thing is a magnet for getting bird bombed, and it's one of my biggest gripes with this thing, and it's not even the car's fault. It's just, I really hate the fact that I can't drive this thing without it getting duped on by a bird. But this car just, you know, this road I live on is pretty windy, and it's just, it's really fun getting to just take her out and just kind of enjoy the weather, enjoy the roads, and just, you know, have fun driving. It's something I really haven't gotten to do for several years now. It's just enjoy driving. And I've been cooped up inside the house working for several days. I went out the other night in this thing to go pick up some prescriptions, and you know, I just don't get really to enjoy driving it as much. Most of the time when I drive this thing, it's for work, and I don't really beat on it. I don't really have fun with it. I just kind of use it as a tool during that time. But days like today where I'm literally just driving to go driving, it's like, those are the best, because it's just like I can actually enjoy the car and, you know, enjoy what it was built for, and that was, you know, having a bit of fun. So for those who are new to my channel and have never seen this car before, or have been watching for a while, took a break, and then came back, this is my 2017 Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf GTI. It's a car that I've wanted for years. I mean, I drove a Mark 6. I've always liked these cars. I drove a Mark 6 last year, and I went head over heels for GTIs. It's just like the only car that I've driven that has given me as much excitement and as much joy as driving a GTI was a Veloster. And this car is just, it's wild. DSG trans, I went with the DSG instead of the stick shift just because I can't drive manual. So yeah, this car is completely stock, so don't expect any rambunctious DSG farts or turbo noise or anything like that in this video. I mean, this car is about as stock as it gets. And it sucks, the road I just turned on is completely straight for like 8 miles. So this video is mostly just gonna be talking about the car and just talking about it and just enjoying the cruise and just, you know, talking about what makes this thing great. So I posted a video, or not a video, but an Instagram story yesterday, the 15th, and was just like, what are some content ideas you guys want to see with this car? Just because it's like, I don't know what to film with it yet, because all the parts I want for this thing are on back order. I can't get a hold of anything I want for this car. And so while I'm waiting on everything to come back in stock so I can actually buy parts for this thing, I mean, I might as well, you know, just try to find some videos to do in the interim, kind of like what I had to do with the Sport Track during its final months. And for those wondering, yes, I didn't see the videos prior where I unveiled the car, talked about all the stuff, how the deal worked out. Yes, I did trade the Sport Track in, and it is actually up on Marketplace. If you're in the Atlanta area, you can find it on Marketplace, and it's out there somewhere. It is extremely windy today. I hope the wind noise hasn't been too bad. I may actually have to close the windows for now just to keep the wind noise from being, you know, intolerable. Turn the AC on. low, just so we're not completely sucking up the power out of this thing. But yeah, so yeah, I did trade the Sport Track in on this car, and I tried my best to really give the details of that deal in that video where I unveiled this thing, but I may have missed a few things. But yeah, for those that didn't know, yeah, I traded it, and it is on Marketplace now. The ad is not mine. It's not my ad. I'm not asking the amount that the seller is asking for it. So, you know, if you want it, go for it. But anyway, this GTI, it just, man, this car has stolen my heart. Like, honestly, this is gonna sound bad, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. I thought for sure I would absolutely miss the crap out of the Sport Track when I got rid of it. I thought for sure it was like, you know, it's not as shouty, it's not as unique, it's not as, you know, it was kind of a rambunctious little truck. I mean, let's be real. I mean, I did full bolt-ons. The thing was practically straight piped. I mean, the thing was just absurd for a build, and I adored that fact about it, that it was so wild and out of this, you know, out of the norm of cars. And then jumping into this, and now I see why so many people love these cars and why some people own these things. It's just, you know, I fell in love with it. I drive this thing, and it's like, I don't, you know, really miss the Sport Track that much, and that's something I did not expect. I expected to miss the crap out of the thing. You know, the noise, the you know, the sound system, as horrible as it was, and just, you know, overall miss the car, or miss the truck. But this car, I'm just yanking these turns, dude. This car is just like, it does the Sport Track's job and then some for me. It's like, the main reason I didn't get another truck is because I just didn't use trucks for their capabilities. And so something like this suits me better. It's smaller, it's more economical, it's faster, and you know, I don't need a truck bed anymore. It's like, I never really needed it to begin with, and so that's why I wanted to jump into something like this, just, you know, get out of the trucks, because it's like, I never used trucks for truck stuff. And this thing, I mean, I can get 400 miles to a tank. This thing gets 30 mpg. I mean, sure, the gas tank is quite a bit smaller than the Sport Track's was. The Sport Track's fuel tank was a 25-gallon tank, which is the only reason the sucker would get over 300 miles of the tank. That thing was so just horrid on gas in terms of gas mileage. This, on the other hand, is just freaking amazing. But, you know, we're not here to talk about gas mileage. We're an enthusiast car. We're here to talk about performance and fun and, you know, just kind of enjoy this thing. And, you know, I've thought about how I'm gonna build this car. My original plan, I made a video several months back talking about what my next build would be like, and I kept it kind of ambiguous because I didn't actually know what I was gonna buy at that point. Because, you know, my friends, they know this well, I am very indecisive, and I will go 1 week from obsessing over one car to another week obsessing over the next. And this has been kind of the only car that has stayed constant to that mindset. Is just, I've just loved this car. And so the moments that I got to actually take this thing home, it felt surreal, just because it was like, you know, this is the car that I stayed obsessed about, that I stayed head over heels for, and now I'm driving it around and it's mine. And couldn't be any happier, really. But yeah, I mean, this thing's just great. I just couldn't be any happier with this car. It's just, you know, it moves out of its own way really well. I mean, the car is, you know, right up there with my dad's Mustang in terms of speeds. My dad has a V6 Mustang. I know. Cry about it in the comments. Oh, the V6. But that car is awesome, and I've really enjoyed driving that as well. And this thing feels like a lot like it, but a lot smaller and more my taste. I'm not really that big of an American car enthusiast. I mean, I know I had, you know, an era early on in this channel where I just loved the blue oval. I worshipped that dang blue oval like it was nothing else. But, you know, most of my car admirations are towards Japanese and Euro stuff like this. And so, I mean, I just, you know, I can't get enough of these right now. So what am I planning to do? So this car is pretty much just gonna be kind of minor. It's gonna be a stage 2 setup. I'm planning on going through HPA for that. Not something that people do terribly often. HPA is kind of the what in the world is going on here? I got a lot of traffic right here. That's not great for me, because that's the way I'm going home. I plan on doing HPA stage 2 on this car, so getting a downpipe and an intake pretty much, and then, you know, I might do some other supporting stuff like the high pressure fuel pump and an intercooler at a later date. Intercoolers and these are a nightmare, so I don't know for sure if that's something I'm actually going to look into doing, is the intercooler specifically. But in terms of everything else, I mean, the high pressure fuel pump doesn't look like it's too hard to do on this car. I mean, I plan on, you know, overbuilding it a little bit, you know, for what I plan on doing. I plan on getting into autocross with this car, and that's kind of it. It's just, I want to build an actual track car that could be my actual track car. I'm okay if I put it into a wall, because this, I do not want to put into a wall. I love this car, like, too much almost. Like, I have a, like, you know, I'm almost about to put this thing in a freaking bubble in the driveway. I'm gonna go pick up some lunch though, and I will come back to you guys when I am done with that, just because I don't want to make the drive-through workers feel awkward. Me pulling up with a camera strapped to my forehead, because that might be a little awkward for a drive-through worker. But yeah, I will catch up to you guys in a moment. Holy cow, there's just trucks everywhere. This would be a predicament in the sport track. This car just easy. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys in a minute. All right, one stop left to go on my outing here. This might be, we're about to have a quick little spurt up to speed. Ooh, I didn't use my blinker. That was a good BMW impression. Anyway, we're gonna quickly, I don't even think I need to take it out drive for this. I mean, this thing, that wasn't even really giving it the beans, and this thing is still fun. So I made a quick stop to grab me some lunch. Now I gotta go stop and get my mom some lunch as well, just because that was the deal for me going out, really. Well, it wasn't really the deal, but because I mean, I had a gift card, so, for my lunch. But anyway, why is this car? This is an economy car turned street performance monster, and this thing is so fun. I don't get it. I was watching a video Friday night with Hayden, and the people in the video dogged this thing. And we're like, oh, they compared it to the Civic Si and the Veloster, and it's, oh, the MK7 GTI feels so just like unattached to the road. The steering is so vague, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm just like, this car is fantastic. Now, again, I'm biased. I own the thing. I pay for it. But it's, you know, it's like, this car is just so fun. I do not get how people can, you know, dog it like that. Like, this car's got so much character. I can't really think of any cars. I think that's a cop coming up behind me, so hopefully I, you know, don't act up. It looks a little undercover, a little sus, but, you know, this car is just so fun. Like, there's not a lot of cars out there anymore that can really get me excited. And this, driving this, dude, it's like, man, I can't get over this thing. And then the AC works. That's something I haven't experienced since I started driving. A car that I've owned with functioning air conditioning. So my plans with this car is kind of just do HPA stage 2, intake, downpipe, get the tune on this car. Probably not tune the DSG, just because it's, you know, if it's not necessary, I don't want to spend the extra money, because at the end of the day, this car is gonna be my daily, and the closer to OEM I can keep it while also bumping up the numbers a little bit, the better. Because I want to have fun with this car, and I want to be able to take it out and, you know, beat on it a little bit, and also be able to, you know, still get 30 mpg and cruise reliably in this car. And that's kind of my goal. Just keep it reliable, but also bump up the numbers a little bit. And so HPA stage 2 is good for about 330 wheel horsepower, which is perfect for me, really. So my plan is kind of just autocross stage 2, put some good suspension on this car. I'm thinking I'll probably just save up and get Olin coilovers, just go all the way, you know, get big boy coilovers, you know, not just any coilover, just jump straight to the god of all coilovers, allegedly. So and then throw some 255s on it, throw some really nice 18s on this car, just kind of a really clean look, because in my opinion, that's kind of the GTI's, you know, strong points, is that one, it's, you can make them freakishly fast for what they are, and then on top of that, you can, you know, make them handle like nothing else. I mean, that's just a really good selling point for these cars. And kind of my idea is taking the essence of like a Porsche, for example. You know, this car ultimately is like a very estranged cousin from something like a 911 or a 718. I mean, it's in the same conglomerate, and in no way are they alike, but, you know, it's kind of, I've seen a lot of these GTI builds that kind of take elements from Porsche in some way, whether it be, I've seen some GTIs have a side stripe that's very similar to the GT3 RS stripes or GT2 RS side stripes. I actually took an idea of that and created a small modification of the GT3's rear emblem and actually changed the 3 to an eye, and it looks pretty convincing. Hayden actually helped me design that. And if I plan on applying that, if I ever get this car wrapped, or if I really just really want to put it on here somewhere, I'll find a way. But my issue with that is just, you know, I'm having a hard time deciding whether I want to just keep the black, go and get it paint coated, or not paint coated, but paint corrected and ceramic coated, because all in all, I mean, the car's in fantastic condition. It's just got a lot of dealer installed swirls. I don't know if they're dealer installed swirls. I'm not going to blame the dealer for that, but you know, it's got a lot of swirls. It's got a lot of, it's got one bad paint chip on the hood. But outside of that, I mean, the paint's flawless. I mean, there's no really bad damage anywhere outside of that I can see. So I'm halfway tempted just to do that, just take it, have it paint corrected, ceramic coated, and that would make cleaning this thing a lot easier, just because it's a black car. It gets water spots every time you even look at it. So I wouldn't be opposed to just doing that and then calling it a day, and just kind of enjoying the black, just because I've wanted a black car for years. It's just I just didn't think I was brave enough to deal with it. And then, like I said, this car just kind of fell in my lap, so I was like, oh well, I guess we're having a black car now. And I'm probably gonna do bronze wheels. I can't really decide. Like my parents, when it comes to cars, they're kind of more old-fashioned. You know, if it's not chrome, silver, and black, get it out of the way. And to an extent, I'm like that as well, but I like bronze wheels on black cars. I think it's just a look. And, you know, it may be a fad, it may go out of style, but I think it's just what I want to do. I've wanted a black car and bronze wheels forever. I mean, there was a time period where all I wanted was a black New Edge Mustang with a Cobra front end, Rovos turbines, and then, you know, bronze Rovos turbines, and just slam the snot out of that car. And this, you know, I kind of plan on taking a similar approach. I mean, I'm not going to slam the absolute snot out of it because it's my daily, but the goal is to kind of take, you know, elements from Porsche, you know, kind of like creating, if the GTI was actually a 911, you know, like a GT3 kind of like inspiration, if you will, to put on this thing, just because this thing is just why is this just so fun? It's just, man, I love this car. Anyway, the plan is to just kind of take some Porsche inspirations and then just dump them into this car and just enjoy the world of this thing. Because I mean, there's not really a lot of cars out there for this money. I mean, this car was $23,000, this car specifically, and there's not a lot of cars for that price that can really get you this excited that are modern. Because, you know, obviously 23 grand, you can buy some pretty cool OJDM cars. I mean, you can buy, you know, you're knocking on the door of some really ratted out Mark IVs, Supras. I mean, really ratted out. I mean, these things probably don't have engines, but, you know, you can buy S2000s in that price point, and as someone who's ridden it and even slightly driven an S2000, I can tell you, there's not a lot of cars better than that for the money. But if you want something that's modern, economical, and automatic for that matter, I mean, there's really not anything else I can really say is better than this at this price point. Now, obviously, you bump into 30s, you know, Golf R's, Veloster Ns, and all that stuff pop into the equation. But, you know, for like low 20s, mid 20s, GTI is just kind of the answer. I mean, in my opinion. And obviously, people will be like, well, you can get an old S195 or S197 Mustang, excuse me, for that, like an old 3-valve. And I'm like, sure, that's great. It's V8 noises, manual, crappy automatic, but, you know, a good manual, and just kind of enjoy it. But they're not, you know, they're only good for that purpose. I mean, obviously, you know, you can track an S197. I've seen plenty of people do it. But for me, it's like, for 20 grand, 25 grand, like, unless you really hate Volkswagen, like some people I know. Now, honestly, I was cross-shopping this between a Focus ST and, honestly, I was debating just going ahead and, you know, throwing out the extra 10 grand to get a Veloster N or something like that. But I feel like I'm glad I didn't, and I'm glad I'm stuck with this car, just because I've always wanted one of these, and I feel like that I have achieved a dream car in some ways. I would demonstrate launch control, but I've done it so often, I feel like I'm going to kill the tires on this car, because this thing will not hook up sometimes with launch control. Some days the launch control is flawless, and that sucker hooks right away. Last time I did it, goodness gracious, I didn't stop spinning. So, I would totally demo launch control. I'm saving that next launch control for my dad though, because he has yet to ride in this car, and I think that would be a fun video. My dad couldn't care less about how he rode in the sport track. He found it completely just unfun. So maybe this will rustle his jimmies a little bit. We can have some fun with him in this thing. But you know, this car is just great. I think that for, you know, a 20-something thousand car, it's just, there's not a lot that can compete with it. And I think that that's just one of the golden parts about this car. It's just, you know, I think that was Rom's roommate just passed me in his Veloster. But anyway, I'm going to go pick up my mom's meal, and I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So hope y'all enjoyed this little POV drive and just reminiscing on, you know, cars past and what we can expect going forward with this thing, because this thing is just wild, and I'm excited to get into building this car and just enjoy it. So I'll see you guys next time. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Stay safe out there, guys, and yeah, see you guys next video.